Welcome back to the Flying Cow Podcast, where we explore the stories and people that make Wellington a truly exceptional hometown. I'm your host, Jim Barnes, Wellington's village manager, and today we're diving into one of the most vibrant parts of our community, our award-winning Parks and Recreation Department. Whether you're here for a weekend tournament, a music-filled event at the town center, or a summer camp with the kids, our parks are where memories are made here in Wellington. Really, there's no better person to help us explore all these exciting projects, events, opportunities, camps and games, etc. Anywhere here in Wellington, we've got to talk to Eric Juckett, our Parks and Recreation Director. Eric, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Jim. Look forward to it.
Great. Well, first, let's start with a little background. Tell us about yourself and how you got started in Parks and Rec.
I guess I should start, obviously, where I started at Aquatics. This year, I will have been here for 22 years come this September. I believe we started in the same month.
That's
and
correct.
I started here as a part-time lifeguard while I was attending college when I was 20 years old. I was here for a few years, and I had the opportunity to be promoted to full-time. A few years after that, I got into management and progressed through that at Aquatics, ultimately finishing as Aquatics manager. And then from there, I used that to, no pun intended, dive into Parks and Recreation as a whole when I became the director approximately almost 7 years ago.
That's great. So you're really kind of Wellington homegrown and sticking it out, and now you've kind of risen to the top not only of the field, but really, I mean, you're a department director here in Wellington, so that's awesome.
Thank you.
Over the time, even in your time with Aquatics, as the Aquatics supervisor and manager, and even now as a Parks and Rec director, Wellington and Wellington Parks and Rec specifically has received a lot of accolades, numerous accolades all over across the years. Can you share some of the most meaningful recognitions that you've lived through and been through here at Wellington, and really what you think they reflect about the community values that we have here?
Yeah, sure, Jim. Probably the most important thing that we've done collectively as a whole as a department is our CAPA award. CAPA stands for Commission for Accreditation of Parks and Recreation Agencies. That's a pretty substantial achievement that's given through the NRPA, the National Recreation and Parks Association. There's not many agencies that have that. It's a gauntlet trying to get to obtain that. Every 5 years, you have to go through a multitude of elements to be able to achieve it, and I'm very happy to say that we've done that multiple times.
That's great, and that truly is a great achievement, not only for the department, but it's a great achievement for Wellington to be able to claim that their Parks and Rec department, our Parks and Rec department, is accredited. And there's so few, not only in the state but nationwide, that it really is a testament to how much effort you put in as a department head and your staff puts in as an entire team running the Parks and Recreation department.
And it truly is a benchmark to other communities. It's a standard of excellence that we're very proud to have achieved. We've also received some other awards too. Through the FRPA, the Florida Recreation and Parks Association, we've received awards for excellence in programming, facility design, and community engagement. And to name a few, recently we received the Facility Showcase Award for Greenview Shores Park and Town Center.
That's great. No, those are all great locations, and we're going to make sure to hit on some of those as we go through the rest of the information on the facilities we have and the parks we have. Having been here for 22 years now, having been in multiple locations in the Parks and Rec department, starting in Aquatics, but also now as director, can you go ahead and kind of give us an idea how you've seen, and in your eyes, how you've seen the Parks and Recreation department and our programs and the whole system evolve over time? Now, don't forget, fun fact, I actually was Parks and Rec director years ago, so I may have to help you out a little bit and put a little bit of my information in there. But go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. I would say that from my perspective, especially as the director in the last 6-7 years, it's just everything is more. More people are attending our programs and events. We're offering more programs, more events. We truly try to keep everybody in Wellington. We try to keep everybody from exceeding, east of 441, keep everybody within Wellington. But I think the same goal still remains. We serve the residents to the highest level possible. As I mentioned, we've grown over the years in terms of how many people we serve and who utilize our programs, and our events continue to grow. And just the sheer amount of people that attend our events, not just from Wellington, but from surrounding communities, is quite the achievement.
Yeah, I think, let's compare notes since we both started in the same month and the same year. I think it's surprising if you really think back about it that in that time frame, 20 plus years, we've seen our population grow probably another 15,000 people or so, maybe a little bit more, close to 20,000 people. And in that time frame, we haven't skipped a beat. Your department hasn't skipped a beat. You've kept going, keeping up with the demand, and ultimately, we've become a hub of the Western communities. Because yeah, we do have non-residents attend and we have non-residents participate in our programs, but that's because we have some great programs here, and we are becoming the hub of the Western communities, and I think it's only continue to get better. Speaking of getting better and all the different things that we offer, let's talk about Village Park. Tell me a little bit about Village Park, and specifically, what does summer look like, for the fields there at Village Park, and some other activities going on?
That's a great question. So you touched on the fields. Our fields have taken quite the beating this year. As we've mentioned, more people in our programs, more people attending our events. We've had more tournaments this past year as well. So right now the fields are closed currently at Village Park for some much needed maintenance. We're cutting out old and bad or thin sod and replacing it with new fresh sod. And so we appreciate everyone's patience with us while we work through that this summer. From a program perspective, most of our sports are wrapping up right now. Baseball's still going on for a little bit, but now we shift towards the camp aspect for summer. So we have a plethora of individual sports camps and 1 week camps, but our bread and butter is our weekly all-day summer camp that we offer every year. It's one of probably the single-handedly most important program we offer, because in summer, parents rely on us just like they do teachers in the school system during the year. They rely on us to have their kids come to a safe environment where they know they're going to be protected and have a good time. And I think we deliver on that on a yearly basis. And that's probably our biggest single program summer camp that we have is our all-day summer camp.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and I think year after year, we see some of the same youth come through that program, and they return because they had so much fun the prior summer. So I can definitely tell you, and my kids have gone through that program and had a blast. So it's definitely a fan favorite here in the community and in the Western communities.
Yeah, my own son, Sergeant. My own
Yeah.
son's in it, Dalton. And if he wasn't in that, I'd have a problem at home. So it's a good thing he's able to attend that.
No, it's definitely, like I said, it's a lot of requests for return campers, and even interestingly enough, some of those same campers come back as counselors when you graduate high school. So it's a great community feel there for the camp all around. Speaking of specifically about Village Park and the fields, and I know those fields throughout the course of the year get packed. How many programs do you really operate or run out of that facility in the fields in particular?
Throughout the year, that's a great question. Throughout the year, pretty much every gamut of sport you can think of, we offer. We have hundreds of programs and sports throughout the year. From a tournament perspective, we have about 5 or 6 large tournaments that we offer throughout the year, and that continues to grow. But from a program perspective, we have everything from soccer, basketball, baseball, football, roller hockey, lacrosse, volleyball. If it's a sport, we have it, and they only continue to grow. We seem to add a couple every year too as the trends change.
No, that's great. That's great, and you're right. I mean, again, of course, more population, more participants, and ultimately, bigger and better programs. Focusing on the summer and Village Park in particular, one of our biggest events that I can say, having been here in the same amount of time and having lived here close to the same amount of time, 20 plus years, is July 4th. It's been one of our signature events for years and continues to be that way. Can you kind of give us a feel, paint a picture for us if you can, of how what's turned into one of our biggest events, if not our biggest event, and probably the biggest July 4th celebration in my mind anyway in entire Palm Beach County is how did it go last year? What was it like? And what can we expect this year?
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. 4th of July is by far our most highly attended event that we offer throughout the year. Last year we had over 14,500 people attend, and we're expecting that, if not more, again this year, obviously depending on the weather. Our fireworks display is one of the largest in Palm Beach County in South Florida. from a event standpoint, we try to shake it up every year and add a few more things to keep it lively, to create diversity in the event. We always have bounce houses, traditional games, petting zoo. This year, something new that we're adding, the new Jurassic Park movie's coming out this July. So to go with that theme, we're adding a dinosaur dig interaction trailer that I think is going to be a nice hit, going with the theme of Jurassic Park. It'll tie in very nicely.
That sounds great, and boy, it's crazy. Where you should just start where people showed up, listened to the band, played some typical fair games, and we had some face painting and bingo. And now you've got Jurassic Park and some kind of interactive exhibit that's going to be part of it. That's awesome.
And we do ask people, Jim, to be patient with us when they're leaving that event. That's one of the few events where it's a mass exodus at the end of the event due to the fireworks taking place around 9:10. So we ask people to be patient. There's people who park at the actual venue at Village Park. There's people who park at the mall and shuttle over. We just ask for patience on that because when you have 14, 15,000 people, sometimes it's difficult to get everybody out in a timely manner.
No, that's true. That's true. That is one of the few times where everybody shows up at different times, but everybody leaves around the same time because you're staying for that great fireworks display. Wrapping up on Village Park, one thing since it's been around for a while, and you've not only probably participated in programs there as a youth growing up here in the Western communities, but also as a team member here at Parks and Rec and in the Village in your different positions. How does the activity there compare with how it was years past, and even compare it when you were maybe a teenager playing soccer on those fields?
Yeah, I still remember back in the day trying to sneak into open gym as a non-resident, and the coordinator, Jill, who's no longer with us, would ask me to be removed or to pay my dollars that I owed. As someone who started here in Parks and Rec, I've seen firsthand how our programs have grown. Our facilities and events have expanded tremendously over the years, and we continue to evolve with the community. I think we just don't want to be stagnant. From a Parks and Rec standpoint, the last thing you want to do is be stuck in your ways or in the past. You want to be relevant. You want to keep your eyes on the trends, what's new, what's hip, and I think we do a really good job of doing that.
That's great, and you do. I think we hear about it pretty regularly in your program evaluations that we hear back from not only the programs but camps and everything else. And while you're going to have one-off situations that happen where we have to address a customer that maybe did not get the best service, overall I think your service responses are always exceeding expectations, and people come back for more programs. Let's focus, being summertime and going for camp. Let's talk about camp. And we know camp fills up early. Like you said, it's an important aspect for parents to be able to have someplace that they have their youth and their children want to be at.
Absolutely.
But it's also something that they can feel safe and comfortable that their children are being looked after and are in the best environment possible. Talk to me about camp a little bit.
So, as I mentioned before, we pride ourselves on summer camp, especially our all-day summer camp that we run internally. Last year, we had over 2,400 campers for the summer. We average anywhere between 240 and 250 a week for our all-day summer camp. We get a lot of requests to expand capacity, and I think we try our best to do that in a safe manner every year. We try to add 5 or 10 spots to increase, because the demand for our summer camp is at an all-time high. Recently, we've seen that surrounding camps that have been offered have closed, so there's even more of a demand for our summer camp now. We encourage all the parents to sign up early through our registration software is Civic Rec.
That's new, right? Pretty new?
It is new. We turned to that around COVID in 2021. We did it at the perfect time during the downtime, so people didn't even really experience the shift. It was a lot of work from a behind-the-scenes standpoint. The staff did a tremendous job with it. It's a great program. It's more user-friendly to the people who are registering and using it. Our staff is more easily trained on it, so it's a win-win for everybody. But probably the biggest benefit from that is the online aspect of it. A majority of our programs and camps are available to be registered online now, and that we're seeing tremendous volume come through in a short period of time, where this year in the first week, within the first day of opening up each age group, we pretty much filled up for our summer camp.
Yeah, and I think that switch to an online registration is a night and day difference, and totally is a game changer for parents, given that not only parents, but really everybody these days completes most of their business on their handheld devices, phones,
Absolutely.
iPads, et cetera, even desktops. And generally speaking, being able to do that now for camp is an absolute blessing for everybody. And I'm sure it took a lot of effort on your and your staff's part to get that implemented.
Thank you.
So back to Village, still sticking to Village Park because that is the hub and the center of our parks and recreation activity in Wellington. Let's look to the future and some of the new things that are coming to Village Park and some of those enhancements.
So I'm excited about this. Obviously, coming from aquatics for a majority of my career, something that's near and dear to my heart that we're really excited about is our new aquatic complex that's scheduled to open later this year. That's going to be an absolute game changer to the community. If people who know our current aquatic complex now enjoy that, this is going to be that on steroids. We're going to have a stretch comp pool, 64-meter stretch Olympic-sized comp pool with a extended diving well, 2 1 meters, 2 3 meters. We're bringing the 3-meter back, which is fantastic, and we're going to have 2 of them. The first Ninja Cross within Palm Beach County, and nobody else can do that within a certain miles for the next 3 years, which we're excited about that. The new aquatic complex is just an absolute game changer. As I mentioned, on one side you have the stretch comp pool with a dive well component and a movable bulkhead that we can use to do any kind of program we want, whether it's polo, swim lessons, diving competitions, swim competitions. Then we'll have a large building with a multi-purpose party room that we can use for rentals. And then on the other side, we're going to have a state-of-the-art recreation pool. We'll have a figure-8 free-forming pool with a play structure, multi-purpose pool. That's where the Ninja course will be held. All bodies of water are heated. We can control the temperature to whatever we want. We'll be open year-round, more days. Everything will be more and more and more at the new aquatic complex, and that's something that we're truly excited about.
Great. Briefly, can we just talk a little bit? There's also another program and another facility that's actually going in right near the proposed aquatics facility. Can we talk about the Wellington Sports Academy just for a minute and give us a quick take on what that brings to the Village Park overall facility?
Yeah, for sure. I think, once the new aquatic complex and Wellington Athletics joins Village Park, that'll truly be the new athletics hub to Wellington. Village Park already was kind of a hub, but now all of our major athletic functions will be housed in one location. You'll have Village Park with its existing fields and basketball courts. You'll have Wellington Athletics with its new facility, and then you'll have aquatics. The new Wellington Athletics Sports Academy is our first public-private partnership that we've endeavored on. It's going to include 7 indoor courts, multiple sports, adult leagues, facility that can host a variety of basketball, volleyball tournaments inside of it. I'm not aware of any other facility that has 7 courts inside of it, so it's going to be quite the spectacle. And it'll be a destination for the gap that we're not able to fill. We can, recreation sports and travel sports is our bread and butter, but pro athletes, that gap that we can't quite get, that next level athlete, they'll be able to house them in an environment that's going to be state of the art.
That's great. That looks very exciting and it should be great for the entire community. Let's talk about a couple of other parks that also get a lot of activity. Let's talk about South Shore Park and Greenview Shores Park, both fairly new. South Shore's been around a while under, it used to be the old Boys and Girls Club. Let's talk about that a little bit and then maybe segue into talking about Greenview Shores Park, which is going to be probably the newest park that we've had. It opened a few years back, but it is the newest facility.
Yeah.
Tell me about those.
So we're excited about our South Shore Park. The grand opening is going to be June 24th at 10 a.m. It's a state-of-the-art new facility. It's going to be primarily an open play facility. It's the old Boys and Girls Club for those who aren't aware. It's going to have a new restroom. The whole facility is new, but it's going to have a new restroom building with 6 stalls in it, 2 multi-purpose fields, 2 baseball fields, 2 lit basketball courts. I think it's going to be a major, major attraction to those that just want to get out, whether it's a family wanting to have a picnic, throw a frisbee around, kick a ball around. Anybody wants to come play some sports, get their friends together. I think it's going to be a fantastic facility, and it's going to just add to our repertoire of open play that we currently have.
And that is going to be the focus, right? Open play at that location.
Absolutely, we're not planning on programming or renting anything out there. It'll be primarily a open play facility for families, friends, gatherings, anything that you want to do. As long as you're not damaging the fields, we're going to be pretty much good with it.
Great.
And I think it's drop and play is extremely important. Parks and Rec, not all families and people are looking for program use. Some people just want to get out and do drop and play where it's not coordinated. It's just, whatever they want to do in that moment. It doesn't have to be planned. And I think that facility will accommodate that very smoothly.
Awesome. How about, let's talk a little bit about Greenview Shores Park. And tell me a little bit about that. And that's an interesting one because that's a little different in that that's actually was constructed and is operated by your department, the Village of Wellington's Parks and Recreation Department, but it's located not on village property.
Correct. So Greenview Shores Park is another great facility that we have. It's not in the hub that we just previously mentioned at Village Park. It is at Wellington High School. That was a great joint venture that we were able to work out with the school board and obviously Wellington High School. It's nonstop use. That's why we decided to go with synthetic turf fields there. So the theory behind it is the school, beats the living what out of it during the day. And then our use is from 6 o'clock on, and then we have our programs on it. And the synthetic turf is needed to be able to withstand that beating. That's a great facility. It consists of 4 multi-purpose fields in the back. And when you add those 4 fields, it's the largest athletic single turf facility in the U.S. We have a stadium field that we redid there as part of the project as well, which has synthetic turf with a track that wraps around it. We have 3 basketball courts, 8 tennis courts, 4 pickleball courts within those 8 tennis courts, and it's just a catch-all facility. It's just another extension of athletics that we're able to offer from a programming and open play standpoint.
That's great. And then, that probably is the best example that we can point to of a win-win in that, parks generally, for the most part, with the exception of some adult use during the day, during the school year between August and May, are largely empty because the
Correct.
biggest park users, youth, are in school.
Correct.
So now you've got a park on a school campus that is being used by the school programs and athletics and bands, et cetera, during the day. And the community, youth, and adults get to use it in the evenings. It's that park essentially gets utilized 7 days a week and is utilized probably for the better part of 16, 17 hours a day.
Yeah, you couldn't have said that any better. There's pretty much no downtime there. And it's just another example, in my opinion, of how we're investing in the quality recreation spaces across Wellington.
That's great. So kind of tying that together with the great facilities you have at Village Park, the great facilities that you have at Greenview Shores Park, and some of the other sporting facilities you have, whether it's Olympia Park for baseball and Tiger Shark Cove for softball, is talk to us about how now in the last several years in particular, but even really over the course of your career here in Wellington in Parks and Rec, about what we do about sports tourism and how that plays an important role in what we do, not only day to day, but also kind of annually, how we look at our entire calendar.
Yeah, that's a great question. Sports tourism really is a thriving part of the Western communities, particularly in Wellington. The Palm Beach Sports Commission is a great organization. We have a great relationship with them. George Lindley leads that group along with the rest of his staff. And through our partnership with them, Wellington gains the opportunity to host large tournaments, which in turn help the local economy, including hotels, restaurants, local shopping. And they're able to help offset some of the funding to the event organizer. And in return, they're able to put on a great tournament or event with the help of the Sports Commission, with marketing, helping of the funding. It's just a win-win for everybody. Then we're able to introduce people to our fields and facilities that they're maybe not aware of from other states, local areas as well. Every year, Wellington welcomes thousands of athletes from around the world and the U.S., sometimes even internationally.
Yeah, I think having seen some of the tournaments that have happened at Village Park, at Greenview Shores Park, I can definitely say that there's a lot more foot traffic in our commercial centers, at the mall, at the restaurants during those weekends, and particularly the long weekends where you've got Friday through Monday or
Yeah.
Saturday through Monday, and I think that helps not only the local community, but even a lot of without that many hotels or in Wellington, they're staying countywide. So
Absolutely.
there's really a great impact, and I think that underscores the importance of the sports tourism side of the world, and why the Sports Commission loves partnering with your department and the Village of Wellington.
For sure, and the relationship we have with them only continues to improve. I think they're vital to the community in sports, and they have their a pulse on their thumb on the sports industry better than most. And just some of the large tournaments that they've helped us host in the recent years is the Youth Battle National Championship, which we've held for the last, I believe, 3 years. Our Wellington Soccer Shootout, which continues to grow, and it's a great event. Flag football, Monster Mash lacrosse, and our lacrosse state games.
No, that's great, and I think month after month, year after year, we continue to hear from the Sports Commission that some of our youth programs and tournaments bring in some of the highest count of room nights for them, and they handle tournaments across the entire county to see what's happening.
And they're also the cool thing about the Sports Commission is they're also able to work with event organizers and tournaments and events to help offset the cost at those hotels. They can get good rates during peak season, which is even another benefit because our hotels can be expensive during.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, well, we've covered a lot of ground here today. We've covered our showcase facilities at Village Park, which are getting some much needed rest this summer and getting renovated in the field department, which should only make it a lot better and provide for a better playing environment for not only our resident youth sports athletes, adult athletes here, but also potentially attract some greater level outside tournaments that'll bring in some additional dollars to the area and the county as a whole. We've covered Greenview Shores Park, which I know you're pretty proud of in terms of having some great synthetic fields. That was our first experience with synthetic fields, and I think definitely the level of play there warranted it. So I'm glad that's going well for the department. And we've even covered the ground as it relates to open play and what your department's doing for open play. What do you think? I think kind of if you had to sum up what your mission is going forward as Parks and Recreation, as the Parks and Recreation Department for the Village of Wellington, what do you think that would be?
Well, I think before I say that, I'd be remiss not to thank Public Works and Parks Maintenance for the great job they do. As we mentioned, maintaining our fields, keeping us afloat. They're really the guys behind the scenes that don't get a lot of credit. My guys tend to get the credit for the programming and the events that we put on, but they're the behind the scene guys that without them we wouldn't be able to do what we do. Whether it's setting up a tent, tables, chairs, speakers, the venue, maintaining, fertilizing, cutting, irrigating, everything they do without them, cleaning the restrooms, without them we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So I thank them. I also want to thank my staff. My staff does a fantastic job, and they continue to grow and evolve, and I couldn't be happier with them. I think to try to answer your question, I think around the country, Wellington's a great place to raise a family, and our parks and recreation programs, I believe, play a crucial role in that. I would go as far as to say not to be boastful, but I think some people literally move to Wellington because of our Parks and Rec system.
That's not being boastful. That's a fact.
I appreciate that. Well, as the previous director, I think you would feel comfortable saying that.
Absolutely.
I think our mission is simple: to enrich the lives through parks and recreation. Whether you're here for sports, wellness, nature, or community events, we have something for everyone. We try to find something for everybody, not just the niche groups, but we try to be something for everyone, and I think we do a pretty good job of that. As I mentioned, I want to commend everyone on the Parks and Recreation team for their hard work and efforts to keep Wellington Parks and Recreation as the gold standard and a model for other communities to follow. And I'd like to encourage all of our residents who don't already follow us to visit wellingtonfl.gov/parks, subscribe to our Play Wellington newsletter, which continues to grow in numbers, and follow us on social media to stay connected.
That's great. So, Mr. Juckett, thank you for joining us today and for all you do and for all your team does to keep Wellington active, connected, and thriving, from camps, fields, preserves, parades. Your Parks and Recreation team is really the heartbeat of the community here, and it's definitely going to be that way for years to come. And thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, Jim. I appreciate it. Look forward to the next one.
Absolutely. So if you're listening and you want to sign up for programs, register for events, or just learn a little bit more of what's happening in the community, visit wellingtonfl.gov/parks and subscribe to our Play Wellington e-newsletter. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook for real-time updates. Until next time, thanks for tuning in to the Flying Cow Podcast, where the community takes flight.